Well friends, as I promised, we are starting a series of educational videos where I will introduce you to various cryptocurrency directions. We will learn how to initially earn $200, $300, $500, and later we will aim for amounts like $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, and $10,000, which can actually be earned from the cryptocurrency market. Everything I will be telling you and everything I will show you, I will support with some real-life examples and show how it all works in practice. We won't be going over dry theory. I will show you where to go, what to do, how much you can earn, and how it all works. So let's agree right away that in this particular video, I will try to convey and accommodate the information that pertains to a specific and detailed direction. In today's video, we will start talking about what to do if you have no capital at all. Because very often people come to me saying, I have no money at all, I don't know how to start in cryptocurrency, how can I form my first capital? And most often people are now trying to do this with the help of some tapalock. Conditional Notcoin, Hamster, and various other tapalocks that give you the opportunity to earn your first money. But the problem with tapalock is that it takes a very large amount of time, and most often you end up with not that much money in relation to the time spent compared to the amount of money you get in hand. Therefore, in the videos we will be analyzing together, we will try to understand how to get the maximum amount of money in a single unit of time. Today's topic will concern the issuance of allocations, and we will talk about how people generally try to hunt for them. We will not touch on the topic of drops, retro drops, or any activities for now. We will have a very straightforward discussion about how allocation issuance works. Basically, let's define what an allocation is. Let's imagine that a project has been created which has its own hype, a solid development team, and a strong product that people use. Nevertheless, people already have the desire to buy this token, and there is already a certain hype created around this project to give their token exclusivity. Very often, projects approach exchanges and say, let's form a partnership. In this case, the project offers to give your users, your exchange, the opportunity to buy a limited amount of our tokens at a reduced price. This means that the token is not yet traded anywhere. The exchange then has the chance to give its users the first opportunity to buy the tokens of this project, which are not yet traded anywhere. As an example, we will now analyze the Sui project, which was also listed on exchanges and had partnerships with the OKEx, KuCoin, and Bybit exchanges. Now I have switched to the Bybit exchange so that we can more clearly see which projects have ever partnered with this exchange, and similarly, which projects have offered the opportunity to receive allocations through this exchange. Right now, we are specifically interested in Sui, so let's click on the details and read more about this project. Anyone interested had opportunity to register and participate in the allocation draw. The only thing is any user who won an allocation could buy tokens of this project for only $10 or a maximum of $45. In the end, we find ourselves in a situation where there is a lot of hype, a large number of people wanting to get this allocation, but the allocated number of tokens is simply not enough for the number of people who potentially want to buy this allocation. At this point, to ensure no one feels left out, the exchange gathers all potential participants and then conducts a lottery among them. Among all participants, a lottery begins, and as we can see from the example of Sui, only about 10 to 20% of participants managed to win this lottery, and, accordingly, were able to obtain the right to purchase this allocation. If your account happens to win the lottery, you get a chance to buy your allocation. You could pay either $10 or $45 and receive a certain amount of tokens at a very low price. Some might say that buying for just a mere $45 is very little, that you can't earn a significant amount from it, more of a hassle and so on. But let's take a look at how Sui traded later on. If we switch to the live chart, you can actually indeed see here that we had the opportunity to sell for more than $1 during the first month after the listing. And similarly, you can see that for 153 days we also had the opportunity to indeed sell each of the tokens for more than $1. And now let's play with some math, because we see here that with an investment of $45 and buying at 3 cents, even if we bought for $45 and received 1,500 tokens for it, even if we take the average selling price of $1, we could have earned $1,500 on that volume, which was bought for a very low amount. This is actually the main feature of getting allocations, because you are buying a project that is not traded anywhere, you are buying it for a small amount of money, and most importantly, you are buying it at very, very low prices. And there is also a very high chance that when our token is listed on the exchange, you will be able to sell it for 3, 5, 10 times or more its value. You might say to me, well, Kirill, it's all great with your allocations, but you told us that we would learn to earn absolutely from scratch without investing anything at all, and here you are already talking about some $10.45 that need to be invested. I want to tell you away, don't worry, this was an introductory part so that you will understand later why I was telling you all this and exactly what we will be earning on. Look, the main and key point. To get an important allocation, we needed to win the lottery. But because there are too many people interested and only 10, at most 20% of people will have a chance to get an allocation, there is a high chance that I won't get my allocation. They just won't give it to me. I'll miss out and I won't earn anything from it. Therefore, it turns out that as a person who wants to guarantee an allocation for this project, I need to have at least 5, 10 Bybit accounts. Here, the question should arise, what exactly should I do to guarantee getting an allocation and to guarantee winning in this lottery? The most obvious and simplest way is that people start registering their mom, dad, girlfriends, brothers, sisters, acquaintances, friends, mistresses, anyone in order to get the maximum number of accounts. This way, people start participating with multiple accounts, significantly increasing their chances of winning an allocation. But there are also lazier people who say that they don't want to register their relatives, they don't want to register and go around to friends, they want to buy ready-made accounts right away, on which they can also participate in various giveaways, receive allocations, some closed lotteries, and so on. But the most important thing is just to have the maximum number of accounts. For people who need a large number of accounts, there are special groups where they can go and post their announcement, for example, that they want to buy 10 accounts on the Bybit exchange. And in fact, there are a very large number of such platforms. These can be groups on Telegram, or separately they can be OTC platforms where you simply go and post your announcement about what you want to do. You can either buy an account or sell an account. Now I will show you a screenshot from similar platforms. I will also show you examples of these platforms later, so don't worry about that either. In this screenshot, we can see that there is indeed a person willing to buy accounts for $15. And here we see that there is another person who writes that they are looking for people for TransferGo verification. Similarly, they are willing to pay money for this. We see that one person is buying verification on Bybit, another person is buying verification on Bybit. Here we see that there is already a third person who is also buying Bybit accounts, but the only difference is that there are certain conditions for these accounts. Here, accounts are bought not for obtaining allocations but for P2P trading. The buying and selling of accounts for P2P trading has its own specific pitfalls, which I will talk about a little later, but the most important thing for you to understand here is that there are accounts for which people are willing to pay much more money. And if the first one we looked at together was ready to pay, for example, $15, then for an account that meets certain criteria, as you can see here, they are ready to pay from $200 to $700. Another screenshot shows that the person's friend is not buying but rather selling, and similarly he sells various accounts, for example verification on Bybit, verification on Binance, various services and so on. Essentially this person is engaged in buying and reselling accounts of different exchanges. Now let's try to understand what these speculators generally earn from, where they find people for verification, where they resell these accounts, which specific accounts they resell, and so on. Let's try to comprehensively understand this issue. We can see that there are traders who sell a much larger number of various services, platforms, exchanges, payment systems, and so on. Specifically, this person sells around 20 services. Imagine that someone advertises saying they will offer a side job. If you come and pass verification for them on say 5 or 10 exchanges, they will give you $10 for it. And then these 10 obtained accounts, 5, 10, 15, 20, it doesn't matter how many accounts, this person posts an ad in various groups saying they are selling verifications, exchange accounts, and other platform accounts, and they charge a lot of money for this. For exchanges, around $10, $15, $20. For payment systems, it can be $50, $100, $200, or $500 or more. Now let's just do some simple math. If we sell at least 10 accounts, which you can sell for $20 or $50 each, you can automatically earn a minimum of approximately $200,000 to $500,000 per month and even more. Of course, you might be skeptical about this and say, where will I find people? Who will I even register this to? And who will I sell to? A lot of questions might come up here, but I will try to answer all of them for you right now. The first and most important question you might have is where to find people, where to find a large number of people who can sell their data. Everyone on Telegram has seen various groups, looking for a job, looking for part-time work. You have also been invited to such groups at some point, added to ones that are just bulletin boards where anyone can post, looking for people for verification, willing to pay $8.10, and so on. Look, I'll take another third ad for verification. You'll need an ID card or a passport, and I will pay you for that as well. For example, 200 hryvnias for 5 minutes of work. I will tell you from experience because I have worked with drops for a long time, with drop handlers. These people who sell their personal data. Specifically, I used to work closely in the field of exchanging fiat currencies for cryptocurrency. And believe me, I needed a very large number of accounts. Naturally, I had to get them from somewhere. I went and bought these accounts. Sometimes I bought them for $50, $100, or $200. I went to platforms and bought from people who did verifications for me. Therefore, you can really believe that there is indeed a huge demand for doing verifications in order to find such people. The most important and difficult thing is just to start with this. Until I started dealing with it, I never understood how a person could sell their verification, access to an exchange or a bank for $3, $5, or $7. But believe me, I have seen many cases where people just gave away their personal data for next to nothing, freely handed over their verifications, their exchanges, access to absolutely any accounts, and this is a common practice that people often work with. Moreover, I will also say from experience that when you offer someone to go through verification, it often happens that these same people then bring additional friends, acquaintances, even brothers, sisters, and so on, who also want to earn some extra money from this. Let's take a look for clarity. On one hand, a person buys verification, let's say Vice for $10. Then, the purchased verification, which was initially bought for $10, is resold by these same people for $50, $60, $70, and even more. Also, take a look at another example as well. Roughly speaking, the verification that we buy for $7.10 is then resold for $40.60. I think the math here is also very simple. Someone gets verified for next to nothing, say for $10, and then resells it for 4, 5, 6, or even 10 times more than what was spent to get that account in the first place. And here we get a very simple business model in which you can actually generate very big money consistently. Why very big indeed? Because imagine if you find 10 people a month who will pass all the verifications for you, on which you can open a large number of either exchanges or payment systems, and you can resell at least 10 accounts, then look, 10 accounts that you resell with a margin of $20, $30, $40, you automatically earn $200, $300, $400, $500. Automatically you earn $200, $300, $400, $500. The logic is simple. Believe me, if I wasn't doing this, if I didn't know many people who make $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 a month from this, I wouldn't be telling you about it. A lot of people doing this then create their own channels, create their own OTC platforms, and they build a network of people who come to them and go through verification themselves. Then, over time, word of mouth starts to spread, and on one hand, a large number of people come who are ready to sell you verifications, and on the other hand, a large number of regular clients come who are ready to buy these verifications from you. And here begins a flow where you just bought verification, basically immediately resell it somewhere and get a real profit, in essence. Return to this topic. You can obtain allocations not only through exchanges. There are additional websites that help new projects come to light in the same way, and who also have agreements with projects that they are allocated a certain amount of tokens, which are later sold to other clients in the form of an allocation. There is a service called CoinList, and in order to apply for participation in an allocation, you need to go through verification. Such accounts are usually inexpensive, costing $10, $15, or $20. But you can safely register these accounts to your friends, acquaintances, relatives, and so on. I think that everyone can find at least 5, 10 friends or relatives who are willing to spend 5 minutes to go through some verification and do this for you for free. And accordingly, you can get this absolutely for free. A certain number of accounts that won't be used for any shady business, schemes, or anything unclear to you, you will simply go through verification, just sell your account through similar ads, and essentially, you will earn your first $100, $200, $300 depending on how many relatives, friends, and so on you have. And believe me, such accounts are indeed sold for that price. Here you can see that someone is indeed actually buying a CoinList account for $21. You can also see other international listings where similar accounts are sold for $20. Here we have $20, here we have $18. Let's take the absolute minimum, where you will be selling not for $20, but for $10 or even for $5, I don't know, practically for nothing. In any case, you indeed have the opportunity to make money out of thin air by finding people for verification, creating accounts, and reselling these accounts. Specifically in this case, I am showing how all this works with obtaining allocations. We are not talking about services, trading, payment systems, banks, and so on. We are specifically talking about obtaining allocations. Moreover, there is another interesting method because there are people who do not sell CoinList accounts, but for example have registered a whole farm of accounts under their acquaintances, friends, brothers, and sisters. Let's say they have a network of 20 to 50 accounts or more. What do these people do? They start participating in this CoinList to get a potential allocation. What is in the CoinList? Allocation is for a large amount. It can be $100, $200, $500, or even $1,000. You don't need to buy this allocation immediately. You are simply given the right. If you win the lottery, you receive a letter, congratulations, you can buy $500 worth. And then these people who manage to win an allocation, they don't buy it out. These people go to various OTC platforms and different Telegram groups where they post an announcement that they are ready to sell their received allocation. An allocation is received for $500, they resell it for $1,000 or $1,500. An allocation has been received, reselling it for $1,000. Such announcements appear often selling Neon allocation for $2,700, Cyber allocation for $1,100. Another person who received an allocation is selling one Neon allocation for $1,800 and the second Cyber allocation for almost $1,000. You are starting to grasp the main idea here, which is that you can either create accounts that you will resell. In this case, you can register accounts, I repeat, on any of your acquaintances, relatives, and so on, and get money out of thin air. But you can also try your luck, and if you're fortunate, you can perhaps win an allocation, which you can later resell. Let's go over once again the various ways you can earn money with cryptocurrency without any investments, starting from absolute zero, and how you can make stable income from it. You can create accounts and immediately resell them, essentially making money out of thin air, essentially. The second option is that you can participate in allocations if you have min $40, $50, or $100. If you win the lottery and are allocated, you will have the opportunity to multiply your investment by 2, 3, 5, 10, or even more times. Another direction, which we have already discussed, is that you can separately buy verifications and just as easily sell these verifications right away. You don't need to look for people among people you know. You simply search anonymously on the internet for people who are selling their verifications. And in the same way, you take these verifications and resell them to other clients who are ready to buy them from you. You become a middleman buying verification at a lower price and reselling it at a higher price. And thus, the difference, which will be at least 2, 3, 5, 10 times, you keep it for yourself and also earn free money from it. But I want to say right away that these earning methods I mentioned should definitely be treated as a full-time job. Let's also just go back to the calculations once more. For example, we find a single person, literally, for whom you register, say 5 exchanges, a few other services, and some payment systems. Essentially, even with just one person who completes verifications on all the necessary services, you can already earn $100, $200, $300, or more, literally, again, from just one person who completes a large number of verifications for you. Therefore, you don't actually need a very large number of people. All of this will come with time. The more you work, the more you engage this, the more people will come to you over time. Why in the current session? I started specifically with this topic. Why am I highlighting it as the first way to earn money with cryptocurrency? Again, you asked me to show you a method of earning that doesn't require a huge amount of knowledge, doesn't need a deposit, and for those who don't have money and want to start earning from scratch, show how I can do this so that you have the opportunity to form your first capital and earn stable, guaranteed money. Showing you how this can be done. I know many people who earn $3,000, $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 a month, but they earn exclusively in this direction. This is their main job, and they literally work 10 or more hours a day because they need to communicate with people a lot, go through verifications for a long time, resell, and interact with other people. This also takes up all your time and resources, and if you are already engaged in this direction, you should definitely only focus on it because it will indeed actually take up a lot of your time. But just to make it clear, I see this specific earning method more as a starting point in order for you to simply get started, form your initial capital, and then move on in order to multiply it using other cryptocurrency earning methods. So what I told you today should be seen more as an important way for you to form your first capital, and more. Because once you have indeed formed your first capital, you will be able to use it to participate, such as, for example, in allocations or to acquire some tokens that you can buy at very low prices. Moreover, look, at the beginning of the session I already showed you past projects that were released on which you could have earned. We have discussed how it launched on Sui, but also note that at the moment we currently have another particular project on Bybit where you can participate in the same way. And try your luck. You might be granted tokens of this particular project right now. The only condition here is that you must definitely have $100 in your account balance, which you absolutely pledge to participate in this contest. If you already have at least approximately $100, you can use it as collateral, and you can also try to participate in this particular event drop. I would generally recommend participating in such giveaways, partnerships, allocations, and so on, because there is actually a chance to get free money here. Therefore, I highly recommend getting into this topic. In general, you might ask me where to find all these projects and how to know when some projects are launching on the exchange or when there are pre-sales, lotteries, drops, and so on. Where to get this information? First of all, you need to subscribe to the accounts of BingX, Bybit, KuCoin, OKX, Binance, and other reputable cryptocurrency platforms, basically any major exchange, because they constantly announce new projects. And usually, each exchange provides some privileges to ensure that you can participate in these drops as conveniently and well. Therefore, if you want to participate in such allocations, giveaways, lotteries, you at least need to follow the announcements released by the exchanges. I will leave links in the description to the exchanges where new project launches or drops most frequently occur. Therefore, if you want to prepare your accounts, you can register on the exchanges in the same way. The only thing I recommend is to keep track of announcements and see what changes are happening on the exchanges. Because believe me, new projects come out very often and partnerships between projects and exchanges happen just as frequently, and these are all potential opportunities for us to earn money. Literally the last topic and the last question, the question we didn't answer today is what those OTC platforms look like, what the groups look like, where you can either find people who are ready to go through verification or find clients who are ready to buy those verifications from you. So now we will definitely look into this together. Let's see what the market has to offer. Here one buys OKX exchange accounts for $200, $300. Some sell verifications for $7, $5, $8, or $10. Some buy, some sell. Again, you can familiarize yourself with all of this and understand what suits you best. For example, as we discussed here, a person mainly does verifications on exchanges or some of the simplest payment systems. There are, for instance, banks in Ukraine where they also sell for around $100. The second platform, besides Gross OTC, is another OTC platform. It works exactly the same way with all the buy and sell announcements made here as well. You can also see that, for example, one person is taken for verification and is spread across all the services available. And essentially from one person you can earn $200, $300, $500, and more. If we apply this over the course of a month, you can again make quite reasonable and decent money from this direction. I hope today's lesson was interesting for you. You asked me how to start from absolute zero, how to start earning $100, $200, $300, $500 from scratch. I believe I was able to answer this question for you. I have shown you the direction and the methods of earning in various ways, where you can form your initial capital, which you can ultimately use for other cryptocurrency directions. In any case, you can try to get allocations, you can try to resell accounts. These are all opportunities for you to build your initial capital. When you get your first money, when you have an extra $1,000, $2, or $3, you can more easily multiply it in the future. You can use this money in allocations, investing, and staking. You can use this money to receive additional rewards, participate in various drops, contests, and so on. If you already have some significant working capital, it will be much easier to work with. The most important thing is to start. Therefore, today's video is more aimed at beginners. Next, we will make each subsequent video more complex. I will tell you how we will increase the amount of capital, how we will use it in other cryptocurrency directions, and how we will earn more from all of this. We will get to all of this together. I will try to make similar videos for you at least once a week or once every 2 weeks, where I will show you for free that it is indeed possible to earn stable money in cryptocurrency, which can compete with the main job that most people are used to. If you want to dive in faster and don't want to wait for me to release new episodes, I repeat, I have a comprehensive training program where you can learn about all the directions I personally went through, on which I personally made a lot of money, and I am ready to share this knowledge with you. So, if you want, follow the link in the description, all the information will be there, and today I am grateful for your attention and I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like this video, leave comments and subscribe to the channel, and I will create more content on various topics for you. Thank you all very much for your attention and see you next time.